So one of the most difficult consultations, or discussions we have when it comes to estate planning is having to discuss or have a discussion with someone who's recently lost people that they were expecting they would predecease, right? And those people would have been listed as their beneficiaries in terms of their will, in terms of their trust, or in terms of their policy. Often people will come forward to say, I know and I recognize that I've lost these people and I need to start making changes to my estate. Can we get started? But you'd start the discussion and the way forward, but along the way, somebody would tell you, hold on a bit, I am not ready. Because in their mind, it's not doing justice, removing those people as yet, even though you'd find that sometimes the time has passed, right? But you'd find that in their minds, they believe that removing these people as part of, their wills, their beneficiaries, is not going to do justice to the memory that they still keep. So somebody was actually asking me the other day, and which is why I thought, let me do this short video here to explain this. So they were asking, what would then happen if, let's say, they don't remove that particular person that they have lost who has died as the beneficiary of their life policy. Before we get into that, I'd like to introduce myself to the guys that are new here. My name is Yolanda Mnyangeza. I'm an attorney and director at a law firm here in Johannesburg, South Africa. We're glad to have you here, and we're hoping that this video is going to be useful. Right, so what then happens if you had listed someone as a beneficiary of your life policy and that person predeceases you, right? And you don't change that particular person at all. What are the implications? So remember, when it comes to a life policy, this policy or this benefit that this person is going to get only becomes a benefit when you have passed away and they are still alive. So in this particular instance, if they die before you do so, it means that they can no longer get access to this benefit. So what then will happen if they're still listed as a beneficiary? So what's going to happen is that it's going to be treated, if you pass away, it's going to be treated as though you did not have a beneficiary to that policy. And what will then happen is that the policy will not be paid to a particular individual because the individual would have passed, but rather it will now be redirected to go to your own estate. And which means that it's going to increase the financial assets you have or the assets of your estate. Is this a good thing in most instances? It's not necessarily a good thing because remember, a life policy comes in millions, right? And you probably also have assets that, range in a couple of millions as well. So if the life policy were to be paid into your estate, it will increase your estate and it might actually increase it above the 3.5 million rand threshold. Do you know what happens when your value of your assets are more than 3.5 million rand when you are passing away? What happens is that there's a specific tax that is added upon the other taxes, which is called estate duty tax. And this tax is charged at a 20% value of the net value of your estate. So it's not always a good idea for you to allow that the policy be paid into your estate. Hence, then, it is often stressed that as much as it may be difficult and you may feel that you're betraying those that have passed by removing them from the policy, you may want to think about that, especially if you have other people that you are also leaving behind, because you also don't want them to have to be compromised, or their estate or their benefit rather to be compromised. So that's what in a nutshell happens when you pass away and you had someone who had deceased as the beneficiary of your life policy. Well, this brings us to the end of this discussion today. I hope it was helpful. We'll see you next time.